Hey there, high tide traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Hope you're well. Today's Tuesday, February 25th. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the news of the day. Not so great news. High tide is set to be rethinking the Purecan deal, which would be the acquisition of the German importer and their entry into the German market. So essentially, it's on hold. They're pumping the brakes. They're going to determine whether or not the structure makes sense to them, or they might even be able to explore other alternatives. Maybe they don't proceed with this deal at all, and they look at a completely different deal with a completely different company. That's possible, but I'll give my thoughts and opinions. We'll also take a look at the high tide HITI chart. There is a bearish continuation pattern that just confirmed, and the target was reached, and we actually overshot it a little bit. So we'll discuss whether or not this could be the bottom. Spoiler alert, I don't think so. But before we get to it, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future videos or when I go live. You can also follow us over on X as well, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So this was the original article that broke this morning. High Tide pauses acquisition of Purecan and explores alternative arrangements with Purecan to enter the German medical MJ market. And I posted this on X earlier today as well. So again, if you're not following us over there for the most up-to-date real-time updates, I would strongly encourage that you do. But shout out to Clarky, responded, "We'll be very curious to see the reasoning, bearish or bullish, we will see." Absolutely. Well, time will tell. No one has a crystal ball, but I did respond to that, and I said it's the sign of the times. And I mentioned this in the Pow Group private community as well. We were discussing this amongst Pow Group private members. I said nothing ever goes smoothly or as expected in the MJ space, and this could maybe be a stalling tactic until they find out about the German election outcome as well. So the conservatives came away with the victory, and we don't really know if they're going to start to kind of pause everything, or if they're just going to slow it down, or a full-blown reversal on some of the recent changes with regards to reform in the nation. So this is it remains to be seen, but we'll have to keep close eyes on it. Personally, I don't think that they're going to walk it back entirely. They might slow it down, maybe introduce additional regulations or something like that, try to kick the can down the road as long as possible. But I think the train has left the station. I don't think there's, they're going to be able to stop this, just like the rest of the global market, right? I think in the US, around 70 to 80+% of people want it legal in some form of another. And, there's like 38 states in the US that have it legalized in one form of another. I think it's 24 recreational. So almost half of the US, right? So the people have spoken. They're not going to be able to. Switzerland also just went legal. You have Costa Rica. There's so many different nations out there and countries that are really starting to embrace this medicine in the future. And if you look at how much it's being disrupted, the incumbents, big alcohol, big tobacco, big pharma. In my opinion, it's all just a tactic to slow the industry down. I don't think they're going to walk anything back and completely reverse it. I think the most likely scenario is that we see, just a slower rollout potentially, right? Like I said, they're probably going to slow it down. I would think that would be the most likely scenario. But curious to hear what everybody else has to think. Again, I'm not a political expert. Personally, I could care less. I absolutely despise all politics. So we'll see what happens. But like I said, I'm bullish on common sense and pro business, pro common sense, and pro medicine. And this is medicine of the future. It's not just an alternative to alcohol or tobacco. This is actually enriching and bettering the lives of people that are in dire straits, whether it be from a terminal illness perspective, or just kind of epilepsy or PTSD, anxiety, that kind of thing. There's so many different reasons why this plant, in my opinion, has staying power, and there's no putting the genie back in the bottle, so to speak. But this was a great breakdown by MJ Biz Daily. So MJ retailer High Tide rethinking acquisition of German operator, and that's none other than Purecan. So the Calgary, Alberta headquartered company planned to acquire a 51% interest in Purecan in a cash and stock deal for 4.8 million euros. But after conducting its due diligence, it is now reconsidering what the best deal structure is. Although High Tide said it is exploring alternative arrangements with Purecan, there is no guarantee that a deal between the two companies will move forward. according to a Tuesday news release. HITI's proposed acquisition, announced January 13th of this year, would have included Purecan's European wholesale and import license, warehousing and logistics infrastructure, and telemedicine platform. The Frankfurt-based Purecan is a profitable MJ importer in Germany. High Tide said it will also look for other opportunities to enter the German MJ market. Germany is one of the world's largest MJ importers, with nearly half of imports coming from Canada. Germany removed MJ from its narcotics list, similar to what Canada did, and legalized the adult use market effective last April. The recent election victory by Conservative leader Friedrich Merz could result in a slowdown or a reversal of Germany's recent MJ reform, as his party has previously opposed legalization efforts. So again, sentiment is at an all-time low. It's, you're down and out, you're passed out. You've been absolutely, just kicked in the stomach, the face, the rest of the body, and now you're passed out, and we get hit with this, right? It's pretty brutal, not going to lie. I've been saying for a while now that big tech, crypto, AI continues to steal the show. If you look at the new administration in the U.S., every second word out of their mouth is probably blockchain, crypto, or AI. So the writing is on the wall, right? It's so true. Unless you're living under a rock, it's clearly big tech, crypto, and AI that continues to steal the show. And in my opinion, this is just a scare tactic when we're near all-time lows, right? You're just getting all this FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Again, after all of the data that they're going to have from this, pillar one and initial rollout, I think, they're going to see tons of tax revenue, jobs. They're going to see, this helping people's lives for the better. It's not just a recreational thing, right? This is medicine. And, every doctor being able to prescribe it. Like I said, there's research now that's showing that MJ is a better alternative to pain than opioids. So again, I think it's just a slowdown tactic. And I really don't think they're going to be able to put the genie back in the bottle. Like I said, I think it's too far gone. And same goes with the US and the rest of the world. I think it's just a matter of when, not if. And like I said, the most likely scenario is that they potentially slow it down, but I don't think you're going to be able to reverse what's already done. But curious to hear what everyone else has to say as well. We'll take a look at the chart. So we have been dropping. I said that more than likely, I think it was in my last video that I posted on High Tide. I said that we were pretty bearish. We had a target. I think it was 277 was the last bear flag target. And then I said I wouldn't be surprised if we did come back down to around 250, maybe even 225. And the low of the day today, we hit 235. So pretty much bang on there. We also had a daily bear flag that just confirmed in the last, this week. Actually, I think it was, it would have been, it was on Monday. So it would have been yesterday that this confirms. We had our high, low, lower high, and lower low. We had the follow through. And once you take the measured move there from the high to the low, move it out to your 0.382 fib, and it said the measured move was around 238, and we hit 235. So we actually overshot that a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if we did see a little bit more downside, because the rest of the sector still continues to be weak. There's lots of skepticism with regards to the new administration, and were they lying? Is it truly going to be promises made, promises kept? There's a lot of talk about the death penalty and things like that in the U.S. I don't think that has anything to do with MJ. That's definitely harder drugs, right? Like there's no way in hell they're going to be doing death penalty for somebody trafficking MJ. But you shouldn't be doing it, right? You shouldn't be doing it illegally. You should be doing it legally and through the regulated market. So, the illicit market is still the illicit market, right? You should still be, put, behind the hammer, and you should still be, get some sort of criminal record, in my opinion. If you're doing it illicitly, right? If you're doing it beyond the regulated market, then you probably should go to jail at some point, right? Even if it's MJ. But we'll see what happens here. I don't think there's anything to worry about. Like I said, in the U.S., I think we're going to see rescheduling. I think we're going to see safer banking under this new administration. It's just not at the priority. It's not at the top of the list right now. It's not a huge priority, right? Once big tech, crypto, AI tops out, then we'll see it. But as of right now, we do have bear flags as well on a lot of other names. MSOS, I've been saying for a while now, has been targeting 306, and we're almost there. We have the low, we hit 314, so we're very close to that 306 target. And there's also a weekly bear flag target of 222 on MSOS, which would mean a lot more downside from here, unfortunately. And CGC is also a daily bear flag targeting 132, which pre-split is 13 cents, which is pretty wild to think about. So again, I do think that we could see a bit more downside from here. The S&P 500 was weak as well today, so obviously adding more selling pressure here to the sector. So not set up well if we were to see a meaningful pullback on the S&P 500, right? If we get any kind of black swan, yeah, definitely seen better days. And it's just a sign of the times. Again, nothing is ever smooth. Nothing ever goes as expected in the MJ industry. And like I said, bear markets don't end in euphoria; they end in fear. And I have not seen this much fear, FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt in the sector for the 5-6 years that I've been following it. So going in it there, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section. We'll continue the conversation there. I know it's not great news, but we'll just have to keep close tabs on it. Like I said, I don't think this is the end. I don't think they're going to completely pull out of the German market. And then what happens when they start to expand into the US market, right? So there's so much opportunity. It's not even funny. All right, going into there, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one.